Hey, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to Holding Space Sunday. We haven't done a live in a really long time, and happy full moon in Leo. And from what I understand, too, that this is like what's called a snow moon. So well, in this hemisphere, is the snowiest time of year. Um, and just reminding us that, that snows. Sam's coming in. He's finally got his cone off, for those of you who knew him with his cone on. He's quite happy to have it off, I think, but he still doesn't like incense. Yeah, still doesn't like incense. Anyway, the snow moon. Yeah, it's just saying with all the snow on the ground, but it's a reminder to us that things are still growing underneath the surface, and spring is, it's close. We just had Imbolc, so uh, we're halfway point to spring equinox, so the days are getting longer with the light, and and I really feel like this year it's just feeling like we're gonna have an early spring. Um, yeah, just as we head into like March and April, those are pretty critical times for the in the astrology with the planet. The key piece being that March 23rd, uh, Pluto moves into Aquarius. So um, obviously, we'll do more stuff around that and as we head into it. But it's really bringing forward uh, the looking under the surface and the discovery of truth and all of that. So just knowing that that's coming. I know this last little bit has been a bit of a slog through the mud. I'm not gonna lie. It's been, everyone I talk to, it's been really challenging for. There's been lots of challenges coming up for all of us in our different ways, with all the things we need to process and release and let go of. Uh, so I just, on that note, though, I just want to say this. So the 7th, 8th, so coming up this week, and we'll get more into this when we get into the cards for the week reading. Um, but Mercury finally, like, it's already gone direct, so it's out of retrograde. There's a shadow period where it's still, some of those lingering energies still exist. So that's been that stuck holding pattern um, thing that we've been going through from December into January. So now officially everything will start moving forward. So all those plans we've been trying to put in place that just weren't coming around or not coming to fruition will definitely be moving forward. The other piece that's just in general is, and I'm going to read one card from the portal cards, just because, this with the numerology wise, the second, the 2-2 portal started, but that portal then stays open till the 22nd. So you've got a few weeks here of big opportunities to transform and change and all of those sorts of things. All right, so let's do the portal card first here, just for the overall feeling of this energy right now with this moon and the portal and what that all means. Ooh, there's two. All right, so the first one is the Arcturian light codes, evolutionary downloads, recalling power, and future thinking. That's funny. I resonate most with the Arcturians kind of thing. And then we got the Holy Grail, which is inner discovery, finding sacredness. You are what you seek. Yeah, I think that's really interesting right now because that's definitely come up quite a bit. Is in this last little while, it's less about the discovery of community and things like that. It's more about like doing the inner work, which is what this moon is about too. This moon really is about this Leo moon is um, it's about you know checking in with our ego and making sure we're having healthy ego, uh, and that includes the way we talk to ourselves, what we believe about ourselves, what we're saying about ourselves. And just doing that continuing to do that inner work, and not being so hard on ourselves, taking pride and being proud of ourselves for our accomplishments. I mean, at this point, if you're still here and you've trudged through the mud and you're still, you know, licking your wounds and cleaning yourself after the battle and then stepping right back up again and saying, let's get this next piece of the show on the road. That you should be proud of yourself for, all that you have accomplished up to this point. Um, there is a little piece around this moon though with, uh, it's always about like letting go and, again, there's still the clearing out and of the things that are no longer serving us and those sorts of things. But there's another aspect to Leo that's like about seeking joy and pleasure. So part of this moon is to start to get us to reframe that thinking, right? Reframe, uh, moving forward, what we want to see, what we want to be, what we want to bring into our life, but more importantly, like exploring and bringing events and things into our lives that create joy, that are pleasurable to us. So, we've had a really rough couple of years. It's, even if you uh I don't know. I don't know anyone that hasn't had a hard time in their way. So by that I mean, like, it's, some people have had more traumatic and more hard stuff to deal with, but that doesn't diminish someone else's hard, like it's all relative to your own situation. And I think we've all just been like pushing through and, surviving and trying to thrive. So what this moon means for me is that it's time to step up again and get into that leadership role, but leadership for ourselves, and say, this is what I will tolerate. These are my boundaries. This is what I no longer will do. This is what I'm accepting. This is what I'm manifesting. Um, I'm, bringing in the things that give me joy and pleasure, and just not taking no for an answer. So that's for me what I've been focusing on this moon. Let's do one card for sort of the overall feel of this moon. We got Temperance, which is, may the Lord make me an instrument of peace. I just love that. That's part of the prayer of Saint Francis. So it's um, it's inviting yourself to be in service. To ask, how may I serve and what may I do. So yeah, that's really interesting because it's, now that we're starting to get all our, a little bit more of all of our ducks in a row kind of thing. Um, it's time, it is coming back into community and that sort of thing, and how we go out and serve our fellow humans and ourselves and be in service to peace. So yeah, that's what I'm getting for the overall theme. Let's look at all the usual moon cards that I do, and we will see what they have to say. So yeah, overall, I would say just for this, if you're journaling or doing any of those exercises for the moon, um, maybe just writing down 3 things that bring you joy and 3 things that bring you pleasure. If it's eating a bowl of chocolate ice cream, then I invite you to eat that bowl of chocolate ice cream and enjoy every minute of it too. Like, shut that part of the head off that's like, I shouldn't be doing this. I'm going to get fat. Like, this is really unhealthy. If in that moment it's making your heart expand, and then go ahead and do it. Just don't do it every day, right? All right. So let's look at what the cards are saying. Yeah. Okay. So, I just don't know which one to read first. We're going to do this. Okay. So the first card is, the answers you need are coming. So I think, yeah, like a lot of I've been talking to a lot of people too, and we're feeling a little directionless just because we don't know where any of this energy is, as it transforms and develops and transforms us. It's changing like what are we supposed to be doing um, besides being in service? Um, so the answers are coming. So I would say because we got that prayer of Saint Francis type thing, which is ask the Lord. And again, if that's not your thing, just it's the universe. Just substitute it out. How may I serve? What is my next steps? Where am I supposed to be? Just ask and see what the answers are. And then we got a new start is coming. And we also got luck is on your side. So yeah, I think it's kind of that thing about like with the seventh and eighth, with Mercury finally coming out of that darker shadow period is, and we started to get inklings of this just recently about, once everything came out of retrograde, that it was like things are going to start moving forward. So I know it's like, I've been talking to lots of people and they're just like, things are the same and it's really hard. And we're not getting answers. We're not getting clear cut direction or answers. And I think it's just like, it was meant for us to be in a period of, rest and observation. And now those answers are going to start to come in. And as that happens, it's time for us to start to take charge. Because the other thing with Leo is that it also like represents or is represented by solar plexus chakra. And that is our center of doing, of being and going and doing, willpower as well, but mostly about, the taking life by the reins and going. So I think what we're just getting the indication here tonight is that, it's things are going to start moving forward. So just make sure that you have done all your previous work of letting everything go. Actually, that's part of the meditation. So if you do the meditations, that's in there. So if you needed a process or a ritual to get that done tonight, it is there in the meditation about, starting to let things go and moving forward. All right, let's take a look at what else this moon is doing for us. Yeah, it's flow, the river queen, flow, letting go, and natural movement. I think that's the key too, is that I think a lot of us we're tired, we're exhausted, we've been waiting for change for so long, nothing's felt like it's moving. And so we're getting to the point almost where we're like trying to force it. That's not going to cut it. So it's about, again, being in the flow, right? It's funny because when the comet went through as well, there was a lot of things about that, the upgrades and things coming from that were about the Hopi prophecy, which is like, I'll get you to go and read it. I didn't download it or don't have it in front of me, and I don't want to look it up during this reading. But the one part does talk about, there will be a time where the rivers are surging or the water is surging. And some will cling onto the bank and just, unfortunately, like it's like they're not going to move anywhere forward. And it's those that let go and surrender and flow down the river and be in the flow of it that will just get carried to the appropriate place. Like normally we think if you let go and you get pulled out to the middle, you have to suspend that belief that you're going to drown, right? Because that's sort of the terrifying moment of that. But all indications are that if you're in the flow and you're allowing natural movement to happen, you will be guided to the right place. So I know that's a lot to it's tough for us to let go. We have so many years of deep conditioning that tells us otherwise, that, the fear, right? We talked about that before. It's like the fear faucet is still turned on all the time. It's constant, like, new things that are gonna like jump out and kill you at every turn. So as this energy comes in, just yeah, let's be in natural flow. Um, and natural movement. That's really interesting too, because and letting go. So letting go, going with the flow, you know, um, and then natural movement though, like make sure you are out. Again, it's just, coming up about being in nature, right? If you can be in water, great. This time of year, I don't know how you do that. And I don't think like a polar bear plunge is kind of what they're talking about, because that's more of a shock to the system than just kind of floating there. But natural movement just might mean, being in nature, hiking, walking, snowshoeing, but being at ease and grace with it. All right. We also got the web weaver, synchronicity, divine intelligence, cause and effect. Okay. So, yeah, synchronicity for me is like, um, again, it's something like when we talk about coincidences, like to me, there are no coincidences. It's just that you're in sync. Like when you start to see signs or you're getting information, you're like, and when you're in the flow and you're getting all the information. So this is just saying to me that more information is coming in. And we're going to see more again, that tangible answers, and and really starting to use our intuition and our discernment and be like, okay, no, that resonates. I know what that means. And just know that those things are coming from a divine intelligence that is whispering in your ear or sending you signs and symbols. So again, just keeping, when you're in that flow, then that's where the magic happens, right? Where we're able to notice those things, and we're able to discern and really tap into the intuition, and yeah, and that divine intelligence that we all have and that we are all part of. Oh, look at that. And then we got the cosmos. Again, creativity and vastness. Yeah, these three cards are just all saying to me that it's that same thing that we've been talking about, is that this is all in divine order. This has all been planned, and everything is going to be okay, and you're going to be fine. So instead of trying to like manipulate or change or force or push things, we really have to get in that ease and grace mindset and allow it just to flow in, um, and be in the moment. Like, this goes back to the beginning of like spiritual teachings, and even like the quote new age, when that came in, it was always talking about like Eckhart Tolle and countless others, Wayne Dyer, about being in the now moment, like not commiserating and fretting and beating yourself up over the past, and not worrying about the future. um, I can tell you the story for me right now is like, that is me right now. Like I, the big slip up I'm having is constantly worrying about the future. Like I'm thinking 2 and 3 weeks out, and I'm like, oh, well, what if this happened? Nothing. And I'm just like, why are you doing that? There's so much like potential for change that is, from the every day to day moment. So just, yeah, like I am, I'm almost making myself crazy with this stuff, but I have to like start, yeah, getting into that mindset of like, it is going to be fine. And you know what, like even if the worst case scenario happens, like the bottom line is I have always survived up till this point, so I will find a way every time, because I know, nobody's going to let me just like uh, perish or fall off the face of the earth. So, um, there's always help, and there's always there's always a way. So sometimes you have to do a little bit more work, or look at things objectively or in a different way, but overall, it's better just to be in the every day-to-day moment. And then again, that's where the magic happens. Like, and we know this, like we've seen it, like when we're doing manifestation work, or um, or just, or having that dream or vision where we're like we wanting it to come true. It's like it comes true in the moment that we let it go, that we surrender and allow it to flow in. But again, if we're trying to manipulate and constantly, praying and hoping and worrying and wishing, it's just like it usually doesn't come. Like, and we know this stuff, but we trip ourselves up all the time. All the time. Anyway, let's do 3 more cards. These are going to be action cards for the week, or I guess, this moon. And yeah, and then pretty much we'll leave it there. Again, like I said, the meditation, if you do want to do it, it's super quick. It's only like 7 minutes. Okay. So yeah, it's interesting too, because like when I was doing some of the notations for this moon, it still did come up with, because we're just not quite out of that retrograde shadow, but I can't remember the other reason, but it's just like emotions it's a full moon, right? So emotions could still be high. And if you're still clearing out some of that lower energy, or, things that no longer serve you, this moon might have been a bit of more of an emotional time for you. So the first card we got is honor your feelings. I just like this one because it's, first of all, super peaceful, but it's a crown chakra symbol above the head. So it's just that reminder of, still make sure you're tapping in to self, and meditating, and just honor whatever comes up. And we have to do the work of like letting, we don't want to stuff those feelings down, right? We do want to feel them. What's that saying? You got to feel them to heal them. And then so as things come up, just, honor it, thank it for its lesson. And then honestly, like, this is my favorite part about this card, is that on the dock of the water is just that we let that go. So honor the feeling, and then give it to the water to wash away and transmute. We also got forgive, and really feeling with that's two. We got both 2 Pisces cards, and so I'm totally not going to be able to like talk a lot about Pisces because nothing's coming to mind. I mean, it does have a lot to do with, a little bit of the water element. Forgiveness, though, I think in this case is us, is forgiving ourselves. I think of all the people that we're hardest on right now, it is ourselves. That we're not doing this right, that we've done something wrong, that we don't deserve this, the myriad of things. Yeah. So it's just really trying to let those go and not letting them consume you, because the reality of those things is that they're not true. And I can't say it any like more than that. And the last card we got is know you are loved. That's the big part, right? Is the universe has all the love for you, and they only want to see you succeed. This isn't, they're not here playing games to trip you up. And, it's funny, like when that comes up and it's like, well, why would a benevolent, well, if we're talking about God, and why would a benevolent God let terrible things happen? It is a big question. It's a huge question. And often, like when things aren't going our way personally, is that you're like, we always are like, come on, what did I do to deserve this? I think the thing is that it's asking us for a perception change at this time, meaning we need to reframe what we're saying to ourselves, because it isn't our fault, and it is trying to teach us a lesson. And I know that's hard, and we don't like the school of hard knocks. It kind of sucks. and we've been in it a long time. But we know these things are shifting right now. So if we can just keep those, you know, those thoughts in the back of our mind that this is just all temporary and everything is playing out exactly as it should, even if it is the most horrendous, shitty thing that's happening to you. Excuse my French. Uh, but uh, but there, you know, we always hate to say this. There's a purpose for it. It's not being done to you; it's being done for you. And I know that probably triggers a bunch of people because they're like, "It's not my fault." I'm like, but we did ask for this most of the time, unfortunately, because we asked to come here and to learn these lessons and to have our soul develop and grow with these lessons. So just take them in stride, forgive yourself. You're doing the best you can. Um, the fact that you show up into life every day and keep taking the bull by the horns, it just means you're doing enough. You're here and you are alive and you were part of this universe, and everything is shifting and changing, and we just have to keep the faith. Like, keep the faith, you guys. I know that's a heavy one. It feels heavy. I don't want this moon to feel heavy. I want this to like start to move us into that Leo energy of, you know, of being strong and courageous and and leadership in our own life. And it's like, and pride, right? Proud of ourselves. We've done a hell of a job lately. Hell of a job. Uh, it's been a lot that's been asked of us, and you should be proud. We should be proud, and we are. But the key with this moon, for sure, is we want to be seeking out the things that you know that we find joyful and that bring us pleasure. So part of that work might be like, 'cause if I thought about it right now, I'm like, what brings me joy? Well, for me, Sam, right? My dog, playing with him, laughing at him, not at him. I have been laughing at him a lot lately because of the stupid cone of shame that he had from his surgery. He just bashes into everything. He was like a bull in a china shop. And instead of getting like so upset about it, it just came to the point where it was like, we just had to laugh. I had to laugh. All right, I'm going to draw 3 cards from this deck that I have, which is it's just an animal deck. I just found it really cute. I like things that have single words on them. Okay, so this is really funny. The first card we got is the otter, which is joy. So just reiterating, the next couple of days with this moon energy, keep finding stuff that brings you joy. And if you might need a whole recalibration of sitting down and figuring out what that is, because it might be completely different now than it was like 4 or 5 years ago. And it might mean you need to try some new things. So go out and try new things. We also got adapt, which is kind of that sort of thing. It's like things might be different now, and they are different. Like there still are some like restrictions in things and that kind of stuff. So it's really important to yeah to you might need to reassess like what does bring us joy, um, or like maybe like what I've always wanted to try that I think would bring me joy. So looking at those things. We also got uh, raccoon and its survival. I think just what that's kind of pointing out with this moon is that it's sort of like I said, like we've already done this work. The survival piece is like we've had to do a lot for our very survival. I think now, though, as this energy shifts, this is the next critical part of us surviving through whatever's about to come, is that we have to be in that place of peace and grace and ease and joy. Um, like as this, again, outside world's doing its thing, as those energies are like coming through and getting crazier, um, I feel like our best stance is just like our best way to say no is to just keep going, is to be like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to do things my way. And this is my new way. And this is what I found. And just keep doing, keep pushing through and stop listening to their crap, stop watching the news, and even stop, like, to that degree, like maybe tapping right out of like all of the things, social media, uh, the movies, like, if I just like, I still don't understand why. I can't wait to take over Hollywood. I'm going to do it. Because honestly, if you can't start producing stuff that's like more joyful and more pleasant and life affirming, why are we watching that stuff? It just brings us down. Anyway, let's not get into that. Do things that make you happy. And if it makes you feel like crap, don't do it. It's like, why do we torture ourselves? It's kind of dumb. Anyway, that was a side rant. So I think this card is coming up because it's like, it's saying at this moment, our very survival is, from this point forward, is that we're doing the work, we're meditating, we're manifesting, we're creating, we're like loving ourselves and loving others, and we are pushing that energy out, and letting nothing stop us. Our very survival depends on us doing this work and expanding and transforming, enlightening and ascending in this moment. And that is our goal, and that is what we need to be focused on. So, yeah, I feel like that's, in just my opinion, that's how this human race is going to carry on. Is we've got to start stepping up and stepping into this energy and utilizing it. All right, that's the moon reading. I hope that you got something out of it. I will be back tomorrow. I will upload the week reading, and yeah, and then we'll just see. We definitely, like I said, we have big stuff coming up in the cosmos over the next 2-3 months. So, and it's all good from this point. It's big changes, but it's the forward movement that we've been waiting for. So, just again, keep holding the line, keep the faith, don't give up. It's going to be fine, and we will do this together in love and in light. I love you guys. Take care of yourself, and we will see you soon.